Hey, what's going on? This is IIAMNKOSIX, aka Tight Time, and I'm on the Roxx with Red Roxx.
Welcome back to another episode of On the Roxx. It's your host, Radio Red Roxx. And as you already know, each and every episode, I have someone super dope in the building with me, and this one is no exception. I have IIAMNKOSIX in the building with me.
What's going on?
What's going on?
I'm doing good.
All right, so listen, I've listened to your music. I'm like, okay, this is a vibe, but it's a different vibe. Yeah. You get that a lot?
Yeah, most definitely. I'm really trying to do like how Outkast was back then, just kind of bring that back in my own way.
Outkast. You know what? I was trying to put my finger on it. As I, listen to your music and everything, I'm like, it's different, it has a vibe. Do you ever get early Young Thug?
Yeah. Crazy because when he first came out, everybody else was tripping on his noises. I naturally was already like that. Just my character, I would just make little dumb noises. When he first came out, I was like, oh yeah, facts, I like it. And then I just found it how, naturally I started using the way I can change my voice up, do it my own way. So yeah, I get that too.
Okay. I hate to compare artists, to other artists, but I feel like, as humans, we want to have something that we can relate to, right?
Right.
So when listening to your music, I definitely got early Young Thug vibes. Like when people was like, yeah, this is a little crazy, I don't know, And of course he got a little bit more commercial throughout the time, but so I definitely got those vibes, which is super dope. Do you ever feel any pressure to kind of do things that are a little bit more, in the box?
Nah. Honestly, I purposely want to not be able to get boxed. I know that that's going to be a challenge, but to see how certain artists have been able to accomplish that now to where they can tap into all sides of their artistry, and as long as they're keeping it true to their fan base, it works.
Right.
So for me, I purposely want to come in and shake it up because it's starting to get to the same pattern. So I'm noticing people are wanting something different. So I'm like, I might as well keep it that way.
Got you. What do you think attributes to that? Do you think that's just the social media, where you really necessarily don't need, I'm not going to say don't need the radio because, I come from radio, I'm on the radio. And I'm going to say radio is still king, okay? But you have this big social media presence now where you literally can have, so many fans following your movement and supporting you, where you don't necessarily have that to go that commercial route. Do you think that's what it is as the reason why people are more creative, creative?
Most definitely, because now, as long as you're, keeping honest with yourself and it's really authentic, people love that now. People are open way more than how it used to be. Right now, anyone can take social media and use it to their advantage in any way, shape, or form. So definitely attributed to that as well, because I'm not really looking to go commercial. My whole goal is to get on, use a platform and empower people and use it for my company and use it for those type of things that can go commercial. But in regards to me as an artist, that's just my passion. Whoever loves it, that's who's gonna love it,
Got you. So as I listen to your music, my category is alternative rap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you consider that?
Yeah, most definitely. And I'm gonna make sure too that outside of just alternative rap, that I make sure that people can see my earthy side, my soul side, because I was blessed to have parents who raised me in a very old school nature way. But my alternative side is definitely inside of me. A lot of that inspiration comes from Travis Scott, Kanye.
Okay.
Kanye has some sense. But yeah, so, definitely I have the alternative side in me. I used to listen to a lot of Prince. I used to listen to a lot of Parliament, Funkadelic, and stuff like that growing up. So that's definitely there.
Okay. All right. So if you could, describe your music in 3 words, what would it be?
Different type time.
Different type time. Good segue into your company. Different type time. So we use that and you slang, I guess, in a culture where we say, I'm on a different type of time. I'm not on the same time as you, essentially. So is that like the meaning behind it?
Yeah, it's about how are you using your time. Like, you got 3,600 seconds in a day. Like, what are you doing? If I'm not mistaken, it's 3,600 or 36,000. But it's just about how are you using your time. Okay, at the end of the day, a lot of people, they sit up and they talk about what they want to do, but then they'll turn around, their actions just don't match. So I've always been very big on how I use my time. I was raised to be very, very time oriented. So I take it very essentially serious in how I make sure I maneuver and how I do things. I'm very calculated. And it's just about, it's a way of life. It's bigger than me. I want it to be something that can end up, going down a path of philanthropy. So
Gotcha.
That way it can just speak for itself.
Okay.
I don't even want my face to really be the face of it forever. It's really for my culture, my people, to empower the minority.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so your company, which I thought originally was a record label because you manage artists as well, including yourself, right? You're under there. But it's more than that. It's business, essentially.
Really much like an enterprise in a way. I plan on having it on everything, merchandise, cereal. I don't care what it is. I want my logo on everything, because when I went with that name, I said I could take this name and market it any type of way I need to. And then I can show people how to do the same thing. Come up with your own brand, get your credit fixed, and then show people how to build their own business. Because nowadays it's about capital.
Gotcha.
You can't do nothing without capital. Like how we just talked about earlier, you got social media now, it's your presence. You get with the right social media marketer, you get your own business capital, you can make whatever you want pop now. I mean, it's literally happening in our face.
Yeah.
If you have it, you can do it, because you're gonna annoy people. It's all in their face. So if I'm on all the billboards, if I'm on all these
all
products,
the ads that pop up when you're online,
it's
everything.
like they're gonna have no choice but to say, okay, who is this? Where did he come from? So the way that I go about it now is, I look for people who just simply want to go about their passion. If someone comes to me and say they want to be a part of my team, I simply see what they want, and I make sure that it's something I can get them to. I'm not going to even be the person that's just trying to just rally up people. No, I want to make sure that I'm rallying up people who have a mindset to want to empower themselves.
So it's not just music. Gotcha.
It's, it's going to be music. It's going to be, people having their own businesses, just simply empowering the minority culture. That's it. Showing people financial literacy. That's what we need.
That's super dope. That is super dope. I find that sometimes, however, it's difficult because, there's a lot of people who have that mindset that's just not there. You know what I mean? And that goes, and we can talk about this probably all night, goes into like the generations of, oppression and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So how is it difficult sometimes with what you're trying to do to help empower, other people?
Most definitely. I mean, the age range that I naturally even deal with is usually younger people. I'm trying to show them how to simply do what social media shows we can do. It's definitely hard because, everyone has their own mind. Some people, they don't want that. Some people are okay with, just simply working a 9 to 5.
Existing.
And just existing. And you have to learn that you got to keep it going. And on top of that too, some people aren't open-minded. And as a businessman too, you're not about to be liked. Like, a lot of people don't like me, but it's because I'm very straight to the point. I don't have time to sit here and small talk. I need to know what's going on now. If you're trying to get it done, we're going to get the ball rolling now. And you know that even in how we operate, with the stuff that we're doing. So it's like, it's just me really having to understand that, like you said, not everyone's going to be ready for that. Not everyone wants that. So you have to know how to let your own energy bring that to you. I don't go out searching. It naturally happens because, one, I'm always talking about what I'm looking for. I do my own vision boards. I'm always doing like a month by month boards where I look, for what I'm looking for. So it comes naturally. I just recently signed someone to my company who's my assistant. He does a great job. He's very helpful. And, I'm just letting the rest of it come naturally. That's it. But, yeah.
Got you. And are you originally from Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay. So now back to the music a little bit. Your sound again is definitely a little bit different than like what's happening right now. It's kind of like, well, we have a lot of drill coming from upstate, close to New York, and then we also have it's more party vibes.
Yeah.
I can't say one thing though, in listening to your music, you definitely are versatile. So sometimes you go off on a tangent where you're like the funny sounds and everything like that, and then other times you like literally spitting bars. So how do you gauge what it is that you want to do when you step in the booth? Is it just how you feel that day, or do you come in there with a mission?
It's a little bit of both. Okay, so like sometimes I already have the songs like prepped. Like I already have written them. I've been working on them, so when I come in the studio, I might already have 3 or 4 that are ready to go.
Gotcha.
And then naturally, all that stuff that you doing, it comes just naturally.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sometimes it's about how I feel. I may be in the mood to just be like, my mom's from Harlem, so like you'll sometimes notice it comes out of me. Sometimes I just want to slip into the strip, spit straight bars. Like I'm from up top, like, and that's just what I want to be on. So yeah, I try to make sure that, again, going back to not being in the box, I want people to understand that, hey, I can give you what you want to hear. All right, I'm gonna still give you lyricism and make sure there's a beat with it too. So that way, no matter what, someone's gonna like it. People who love beats, I'm gonna make sure I got a good beat for it. People who really want to hear, I'm gonna make sure even when you think I'm just making some party music,
right,
when you listen to it, you're like, oh, he's still talking about something.
Right.
So,
and I think that be my thing too when I'm listening to you. I'm like, okay, so sometimes it just be like, you just kind of be off on a tangent, and then you start coming back around.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, that was a bar right there. Okay.
Yeah, like I have a lot of bars where you're not even gonna peep them until you go back because of how I do it. And then like, sometimes I'm in the studio, I don't even know how the hell I'm doing that.
Wait, I was gonna say, so this might come into how you prep to go in the studio. Like, is there like any type of?
I'm not even gonna lie to you. And this is, look, people, okay, some artists know. Let's just keep it a band now, okay? Shrooms is one hell of an influence. But it's very spiritual too when you do it the right way. And as an artist, it's just naturally like so flowing. I can't explain it. It's almost like you're literally tapping into like another part of your just creativity realm.
Gotcha.
And it just flows. Because don't get me wrong, smoke weed and all that.
Yeah. I've never done it. I have friends who have. And they do talk about, how you're literally tapping into like a different part of your brain almost.
Yeah.
And you're, creating things you necessarily wouldn't normally create. Mm-hmm. So now with that being said, do you feel like you're creating music for that culture, or do you feel like that your music is still transcending, with people who might necessarily do shrooms or drugs?
I would say it can still transcend regardless, because not everything I make is based off of, drug culture. Even though the sound is very, like shroomish.
I was gonna say, because it sounds like sometimes you be on trip. Yeah. Like, okay.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, no matter what, if I need to give you like some real old soul and a heartbeat, I can do it. And
I can see that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's the beauty of being, just a multifaceted artist, someone who can kind of tap into all those different sides. Mm-hmm. Is that what we can expect for the EP?
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be just tapping into all sides, so that way, like, my fan base will already have what they like of me, and they'll just know, like, okay, I love it when he's on this, I love it when he's on that, so that way too, they never know what they're gonna get with me. It's always gonna be fun, it's always gonna be exciting, even all the way down to my visuals. I wanted to send you somewhere, I'm trying to be like, it's almost like the millennial version of like Jimi Hendrix.
I was gonna say Jimi Hendrix.
Like,
okay.
I'm trying to do that, and I'm just taking my time now. And because I took 2-3 years to just sit and study the game from such a business aspect, learning even how to make a song, just really knowing how to construct a song. I'm really getting at that point. So yeah.
So like a musical trip, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, you know, don't get me wrong, too. I've done some of that nonsense sober. So at the end of the day,
you're just you.
Yeah, you know.
True to yourself.
Really am. And, you know, it's about, you know, not caring. Like, I've definitely had those battles where it's like, you're so tempted to do what you gotta do to get your foot in the door. And it's like, if I do that, I gotta give you that from now on.
All the time. And then you start going into some other shit.
Yeah.
Kind of like Lil Nas X a little bit. I mean, you know, I don't know whether you agree or not agree. I mean, you get your foot in the door with one thing, and then when you start going to the other, you know, where you really want to go, the people are like, "Whoa, wait a minute, what's this?" And he's like, "You know, this is who I am."
Yeah. He's definitely showing who he is.
I mean, but that's essentially the same concept.
You're right.
If you do one thing, then they're going to expect that you're going to continue to do songs that their kids can sing along to, versus, you know, this other image.
Even though I may not be the biggest fan of what he did say something that parents got to be like realistic with themselves about. He even said, "Old Town Country Road, y'all didn't have no business letting you kids listen."
Period. He's like, I was talking about doing drugs and adultery.
So it's even like with my music. I got music that don't be fussing at me about if you let your kid listen to it. They don't have no business listening to it the same way how mama did me.
Right.
You know?
I mean, because it's not, that song sound like Old McDonald, I think. It's probably, you know, y'all not really paying attention to the lyrics. Y'all paying attention to just the little, the catchy, you know, whatever. So now that this man is doing what he really, really, really wants to do, creativity, you know, creatively wise, it's a problem, you know. So I get what you're saying, that, you know, you kind of want to stay true to yourself and continue to put out the music that you genuinely want to put out, versus doing something to just get your foot in the door. Because then now, after that, you would be kind of like backpedaling, trying to backpedal back to your roots and back to what really drives you as a musician. You know, might take you a little bit longer, but
very true. Exactly. And I don't want to even have to go through that. I'd rather just be me. And I've noticed that naturally, just even from my life and how I'm applying it, how I attract things, it's working. Yeah. So I'm gonna, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what it is.
But like you said, power of attraction. You know, you attract and manifest what you want that comes towards you. So let's talk about the EP a little bit. What can we expect?
All right. So on the EP, it's gonna be 4 tracks. And it's funny because I let you listen to one of the tracks on it. So it's gonna be that type of vibe where you get the alternative. You're gonna get, I'm just giving you straight bars. You're gonna get a nice hype party song. Very good feel good music. Just the type of songs where you know that people are gonna love it anthem wise. And it just goes back to me knowing how to, again, I know how to give people what they want, where it's that fun pipe of music, and still make sure it's in a way that's going to intrigue them without, you know, coming off like I'm not staying within my realm. So I'm looking forward to it. The timing of how I'm doing it, I feel like it should definitely do great.
Bitch, my money on fleek. Pop my shit every day of the week. I don't really give a fuck how you feel about me. Bitch, my money on fleek. My money on fleek. My money on fleek. My money on fleek. My money on fleek.
Got you. Now, why an EP versus an album? Are you trying to kind of like are you trying to kind of like let people down softly into your craft, or is it just?
It's kind of like, I want to give them more to look for. I don't want to just give you all this right now. Now you're just like, oh, okay, I know. No.
Or what was that?
I'm gonna bring you in little, little, like, hell is this? Because I've already purposely kind of tested it psychologically. Like, I'll purposely play my song around some people who don't even know that it's me, and they'll be going crazy to it. I'm like, okay, I got it. So now it's about how do I market it the right way? You know, so my thing is, if I take my time and do it right, and EP here, EP there, I feel like energy-wise and how I'm trying to manifest things, it'll come. I'm not in a rush no more. When I was younger and I first started, I was so busy trying to put out project to give it to you unless you want more. You know, I kind of got that from Bryson a little bit. Think about it. He literally just gave us a nice little 3 singles, it's an album, fell back.
Yeah.
You know,
and Trap Soul was like amazing.
Yeah. So that's kind of like my approach to it. That's how I'm gonna go about it. So,
all right.
But the album is definitely
Is the album on the table as well?
I'm working on it nonstop. I've been working on it since last summer. I did the project last summer in LA. It's amazing. It's amazing. But I'm continuously working on it because the more I grow as an artist, the more I go back and I touch it.
Yeah.
And I touch it.
How do you think though that that's kind of like, you know, I don't know. It's almost like being a writer. You know what I mean? Like the more you sit on it, the more you want to tweak it. When it could have been great from the beginning.
It is. However, I notice things in it where I just know with what I want to give to people, it could have been better. And I've just learned how to be more patient. Even though, like, and it's funny you're saying that, because when I first played for you, like, oh, this is amazing. And then now that it's been some time and I listen to it, I'm like, this can be better. If it was that good, like that,
yeah.
And then where I'm at now, I'm like, okay, I can make this better. And I've thought about that where I'm like, I could have dropped it right then and there. I really could have. But, you know, from people who've been mentoring me and teaching me things about patience, I was like, you know what, let me see how this goes this time. I just take my time with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have no need to rush this when it's my time. It's going to actually come.
Yeah.
You know, so.
But that's probably where, like, you know, you have where artists drop like bonus albums, or they might drop a revision to a song, you know. So that could be, you know, something you could do too. So like, you know, drop the original version of the song versus what you revised it to, and you never know, you might open up a whole new, you know, fan base on that too. So maybe keep both versions.
Yeah, I see your point there.
Because it's I mean, I think sometimes people they like to see the growth.
Right.
You know, especially if they're following you. And you might have some that likes the raw you where, you know, it's almost naive a little bit.
Right.
In your music, versus the more, you know, educated you. And
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
And it's crazy because I am gonna let one song off of that project drop this summer, and then I might let another one off of it drop. So I like that you're telling me that, and I'm gonna take that very, very, very to heat. That definitely makes a lot of sense. I feel you on that. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the EP as well. So you said 4 songs.
Mm-hmm.
And now, are you planning on doing any type of performances? Now the world is kind of opening back up again.
Yeah, now that it is opening back up, me and my assistant, we've been looking into like festivals and stuff like that. But in regards to like doing shows, and it's sad to say this, but people not acting no more. And
they might not know how to act even more after being locked down for so long.
And like,
unfortunately,
at the end of the day, I'm a businessman. I know how to replace a stream of income that you really, really need. So it's like, hey, if I got to replace certain shows with a different source of income, I will do that. Because it don't make no sense that I can't go to do a club show the same way I could go do a festival show.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
That don't make no sense. And we've lost too many artists to nonsense from a club show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad, but at the end of the day, you know, people forget that we're artists so we can empower and change our families' lives. We're not out here trying to be having to move like we still in the streets.
Right.
We're trying to use this to do our thing. So I'm definitely looking forward to going back to it. But right now, really my focus is just, you know, getting the buzz more out there. And just, you know, really getting my fan base more out there too. But yeah.
Okay. So maybe some shows on the horizon, maybe. Festivals. Definitely looking forward to all of that coming back again. And,
yeah.
You know, I don't know if the world will probably ever fully recover from...
I'm just starting to think that too. I don't think it's going to be the same. And it sucks. Like, you know how like sometimes you might see something on social media and you're like, dang, really like wish we could just go back to that.
Listen, I see that like in my memories on social media, you know, from a few years ago, being at concerts and stuff like that. It's just like, everything is so different, and then you look at that stuff and you're like, damn, like would I ever be able to like really be in a packed stadium full of hundreds of thousands of people again? Like,
now, they just had a baseball game though. Like,
I seen it. I don't know what came of that. I don't know if they're talking about any surges. I know some areas it's just all crazy.
Yeah.
It's all crazy. So did you have any impact to your creativity with the pandemic? Like,
no.
Not even from day one?
No.
Shit, I was depressed. I was in the bed, like laying there, like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I had just launched on the Roxx, as a matter of fact.
Oh, I would have been.
And I was like, I had just came back from Atlanta, and I had my first, like, I was so excited. I'm like, oh my God, I got my first few artists. This is dope. It's gonna be great. And then, yeah, COVID was like, yeah, not right now. You sit your ass down for a second.
Nah, some people are not gonna like this. I didn't stop doing nothing from the normal. I just moved smartly, and I was respectful to what it was. Put your mask on. Now, for me, I'm always shaking hands, so I was like, y'all ain't having hand sanitizer on you anyway. I'm like, what the
like
hell?
this is all
the way it all went.
Yeah,
like, kind of crazy with the hand sanitizer and everything. You couldn't go get wipes, like. You could not go find wipes or tissue. It was like,
right.
What we out doing for?
You don't have that at home.
But no, I still, matter of fact, if anything, I traveled more than ever.
You travel more.
Did you not see how cheap flights were?
Flights was cheap. Airports was empty.
Yeah.
The plane was empty. You know, I mean, once I got the courage up to actually start traveling, yeah. I mean, and now that things are kind of going back to normal, it's like, okay, can we just go back a little bit, like to mid last year?
I mean, heck, if you think about it too, with us in Atlanta, we more so have been living somewhat regular since maybe August of 2020.
See, I wouldn't know, cause I'm new and I'm only down here, you know, in spurts. So I'm in New York with Uncle Cuomo. So like he wasn't having no shit. He was like, oh yeah, if you coming from there, you gonna have to do this, that, and third. So, you know, it was a different story for us, I think, upstate, you know what I'm saying? And in New York, it just was a whole different situation. But down here, like the times that I do come down and I'm here and everything, I always say Atlanta is on its own planet.
Yeah.
It is
like,
literally.
Just today, I saw how they're getting ready to release all restrictions. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't even see what restrictions.
Exactly. I was like,
unless it's
really doing our thing.
Look, unless I don't have to wear a mask and I go on Macy's, that's probably the only. That's probably
like when they're taking it.
The only thing, like when I don't, you know,
even then, like.
Stores.
But here's the thing though, some places they could care less. They still gonna be like, you're not coming here without a mask. Some. But
yeah, I mean, because you have the right to enforce your own rules.
You know what I'm saying? The majority of the time, lately in Atlanta, it's been like, you know, we doing our thing.
Got
Nothing
you.
going on.
So you've just been you just been just as creative.
Yeah, most definitely.
Pandemic really didn't hinder you in any type of way.
You know,
that's so. But
at that time, like people needed money, so me helping people get funding how they needed to, so they could keep paying the bills.
On the other end of things, your business is booming.
Yeah, because people needed money. This stimulus.
Wasn't
just remember how when it first popped off, we weren't talking about that.
Right.
So people didn't even know that they were about to get that. So when it first popped off, it benefited me. I was able to help more people in a way. And then the stimulus became a bonus, but for me, it worked in my favor. But again, that's the beauty of teaching financial literacy.
And that's the beauty of just having more than one hustle, period.
Yeah.
So you essentially do music because you love it. That's not even your bread and butter.
Mm-hmm. I use music as, you know, the platform so I can reach more people. Because I'm a public speaker naturally in a way. And I know how, you know, music could be my voice. And actually one day I can start speaking and, you know, be a public speaker, get into activism. Those are the things I really want to do.
Now, speaking of activism, do you consider or have you considered using your music as a voice, especially with like a lot of the things that's going on? I mean, because we simultaneously were battling a pandemic along with, you know, a social revolution. And so as an artist, where did you feel like your music stood in all of that?
It's coming. It's definitely going to stand firm in it. And I'm gonna keep it real with you right now. I've already accepted what's coming with it. Like, let's just keep it a band. We already saw what happened in Pop and MC. Just any black man who tries to stand up for his people. I've already accepted what's gonna come with
Don't
that.
say that.
No, not like that. Not like that. It's just at the end of the day, hey man, look, you either gonna do what you know that you're supposed to stand up in. So I definitely plan on doing exactly what you're saying with my music. And you know, at the end of the day too, I watch people who do it from a standpoint and how they kind of get their message out without, you know, bringing too much attention to themselves. I don't really know how it's gonna go for me, but I just know that I'm gonna speak my mind when my music gets to that point where yes, I can start using it to voice myself the way I really want to. Yeah, what's that?
Awesome. Do you feel like you have to reach a certain point to be able to do that liberally, or like is it more so that you don't want to make too many waves right now, or is it more so that you want to reach more people?
I want to reach more people. And whichever way it happens, whether it's music or whether it's through my company, I just want to reach more people. Whichever way gets me there, I'm going to make sure it turns into where they know that this is what I'm on. And it is what it is. So yeah, that's what it's all about. Like again, that's just where it goes back to the type time. What type of time?
Type time? What type of time you on?
So,
So what type of time are you on?
a different type of time. Shout out to Dave East, man. Hey, now for real, that was like one of the big inspirations. That song to this day, I don't care how old I am, that song was a big inspiration to where that came from. I just like the message. And people I used to run with me used to always say like, you know, what type of time you on with?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, so one day I just started saying type time. I would always, for some reason, I was in everything. Type time. And then it just became a way of life for me. Yeah.
All right. So you are in the hot seat.
Okay. So
we're gonna pick 5 cards. They're not nothing crazy, but it's just so we can get to know you a little bit more as a person and as an artist.
Okay.
Who are you outside of music?
Oh wow. Outside of music, I do a lot of like really earthy stuff. I like to go to like little nature spots with rivers. And I'll just be cooling and writing.
Mm-hmm.
I have a ton of art. I collect art. I love art. My whole room is nothing but art and paintings everywhere.
Who's your favorite artist?
My favorite artist, I would have to say right now, my favorite artist is Reezy Ma. Y'all don't know who that is. She's an underground artist. She's dope. I got a lot of her artwork. She's hard. But yeah, and then like outside of music, what else do I really do? Oh, I can cook.
Oh.
Don't say that because let's be
Okay.
real. A lot of times people like, can you cook? You know, a lot of people are like, man, we can't cook. I can cook. I love cooking.
What's your favorite dish to cook? Like, what's your specialty? Everybody has a specialty that can cook.
My specialty, honestly, I can go really crazy on like an omelet and make it really, really good with a lot of different like vegetarian style ways of how to make it. And then dinner wise, I really like making like, okay, you take a pineapple, you cut it.
Oh, you like the pineapple bowls with the teriyaki chicken?
Yeah, you might make a shrimp jambalaya bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, I like the presentation of it.
Yeah.
It's just, hey man, if you're a grown man, you know what I'm talking about, okay? Look, you do that the right way with a young lady, it's really dope.
They're expensive though, because pineapples are expensive. Pineapples are expensive. Like, my favorite dish at one of the restaurants I used to like to go to, they have flying shrimp, and they used to stick the shrimp on sticks inside of a cut half a pineapple. And they stopped serving the dish because the pineapple was just too expensive to support the dish. Yeah. But that's dope.
Pineapples is fun. I never really looked at pineapple being.
I mean, I guess in a stance where you're not really eating out of it. You're kind of just sticking something in it, and you know, and then you're buying it in volumes. Whatever. We can go on and on about that. So that's interesting. All right. So hot seat. This is just some questions to get to know more about you. So first question: what will be written on your gravestone? What type of time you want? Okay. All right. That's easy. If you were invisible, what would be the first thing you would do?
If I was invisible, what would be the First thing I would do. Wow. What in
The first thing.
world?
So if you were like, okay, no, you can't see me. What's the first thing you're gonna do?
And they couldn't see me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I'm definitely about to irritate you and like you're closing the door and I'm keep open.
So you'll be like a ghost.
Yeah. Definitely about to play those type of games.
All right. What is the craziest thing you've done with a stranger? It's an adult show, so.
The craziest thing I've done with a stranger. I'm trying to think. You don't really do too many crazy things with strangers, so it's like outside of a one night stand.
One night stand, that's a crazy thing with a stranger.
That's what I can think of right now. That's where we're gonna keep this.
All right. If you were a politician running for office, what would be your slogan? Let's take the time. All right. And what did your last text message say? Oh, take those juice. What does that say? Type time.
I'm not even making that up. I'm so serious.
Type time. Okay. So you serious about this? You got a tattoo on you. They don't get no more serious than that. That's it right there. If you don't believe in your brand, nobody else believes in your brand. This man does. Okay. So go ahead and give your name, spell your name too, so that we can follow you on social media.
So you can follow my social media is Type Time LLC. All right, that's Type Time TYPE. TIME LLC. You can follow our streaming page, which is IIAMNKOSIX, IIAMNKOSIX, aka Type Time. The streaming page is IIAMNKOSI Extreme. That is IIAMNKOSIXTREAM. See how I did that?
Yes.
So yeah, so IIAMNKOSIX. Yeah, definitely go there, follow me. But follow Type Time LLC, all platforms. Yeah.
Yes. Make sure you follow, you support EP coming.
It's coming this summer. I'm not going to give you a date just yet, but it's coming this summer.
Coming this summer. Then the album to follow up.
Yeah.
All right. Make sure you support, make sure you follow, make sure you listen. All right. Super dope artists. And that's another episode of On the Rocks. And of course, as you know, next episode, I'll definitely have another individual in the building for you. You definitely want to watch.
I smoke a big every day and I take off like my make a play, know I'm having my way. Try to leave my dogs in the cage, you niggas be J's. I let them go 8 like Return of the Apes. Stay with the bins that'll hit every day. I be charging the quality fee for the game. VPN good cause I pay for my way. Can't be cheap in this land, I just gave you some game. Flipping the jacks is the way I maintain the street money. My game, no, I don't trust a bank. Bank on me, no, my shit clear right away. I don't need food, let my CPNs pay. I've been eating so good, got no space for dessert. Get the extra tomato, go have your way. Bringing it in like buffets and unlimited. Taste no high the cookies in space. I eat the cookies taste better than steak. That's her cake, it's her early birthday. Don't put my second, I treat it like customers get what I want to move on with my day. Damn, hold on, wait. Now that was bonkers. And should have never go bonkers like monsters. I give you nightmares that is worse than Osama because I've been Aladdin, been working my magic and I don't need genie. I made my wish happen.